Hello, everyone. You're welcome to Honest Mind podcast, and I still remain your guy, Skinny Lash. And right now, I have my fellow cast member of Honest Mind podcast. Which one? Why they sound like American? Okay, guys, introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are. For the people who is just newly watching us.
So, hello guys. It's been a long time since we spent some time together, and I miss you guys. This podcast is it's good for me because it's a chance for me to interact with you guys and just
Yeah.
hang out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, as you know, it's me, Daddy Jew. Others call me Jews. Others call me Minister.
The minister.
So it's up to you what you wanna call me. But today we're here
Yeah.
giving you a banger after a banger,
Yeah.
knowledge after knowledge,
Bangasu vibes.
grace after grace,
Blessing
We're just
after
here,
blessing.
blessing after blessing,
Movement
everything
after
Wow.
double
mixed
double
together.
double
Before you realize,
double.
it'll be too late for you. Why here now?
All right.
All right, my people. Once again, we are here. I would say thank you all for tuning in. As you know, senior man by name, and once again, me and my team, my brothers as well. We are here again to continue where we stopped about our last topic. So stay tuned and listen up.
Okay, so today we are still talking about self-esteem. So we are still on the topic of self-esteem for the whole month of November. You know that it's coming to December so quickly. I don't know,
This month is moving so quickly, man.
so quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want us to do a recap. Well, let's do a recap for people who missed out from the last section. I want us to just give us, like, what do we understand by self-esteem? When we talk about self-esteem, what do we really understand? So, our senior man, you can go first.
Okay. I would say self-esteem is I'll put it how someone sees themselves, how someone idolizes themselves. Because first of all, it's how you see yourself, that the way you put yourself out there, or the way you respect yourself, the way you build yourself. That's how people are going to see you. So self-esteem is that building of your own personal character. So that's what we talked about last time. Being self-esteem, it's how you build yourself out there, your character, your figure,
Yeah.
or your principle of everything, discipline, how you figure out yourself and put it out there. Just like in a market, the way you display yourself, that's how you're going to get prized, or
Yeah.
how you're going to get talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it for me.
Yeah. So, what about you, Minister?
I have two thoughts in my head, but just work with me. So I feel like self-esteem is almost like a price tag, like what you said, the marketing, what you said.
Yeah.
It's like the price tag you put on yourself,
Okay.
like what worth you put on yourself, and how you want to carry yourself, or it's the standard that you hold yourself to, like the quantity, the currency which you're judging yourself on,
Yeah, it's like idolizing yourself or something.
how much worth you put on your name. That's the kind of thing I understand by self-esteem. So it's like how you value yourself and the level or the standard which you put your name at. That's what I think self-esteem is.
So tell me, Minister, I love how you try to put a partition to your answer, like to put, idolizing and, do you think self-esteem is something that, because our cinema talk about growth, right? So do you think self-esteem is something that we should always look at for, or what?
No, of course, self-esteem is something which is very important because I feel like
Because
the way-
as we said earlier, right? You said self-esteem is who you are.
yeah,
How you show yourself, the
Yeah.
standard you place in yourself, how you rate your own self, So where does that growth come from? Because there's a lot of people who can say, oh, I thought self-esteem was this way, but where's the growth in self-esteem?
I think there comes a time where you can value yourself differently depending on the situations you are. Maybe there's some times where you don't see yourself to be at a certain level,
Okay.
and the way you portray yourself shows that you don't value yourself.
Okay.
You know, and there's some certain situations that happen whereby the way you carry yourself shows that you don't respect yourself. It's also
Yeah.
like the way you respect your own well-being. So if self-esteem becomes a thing where it's like how much respect you give to yourself.
Okay.
Like there's certain situations I won't put myself because I'll feel like I'm disrespecting myself. There's certain arguments or certain fights I won't involve myself in because I feel like, what am I even
Yeah,
doing
this
discussing
is
this
like
thing?
waste of time.
It's like a waste of time to
Yeah.
me. So I
True.
feel like that's what self-esteem is. And the more you grow, the more you realize how important you are, even as yourself.
Yeah.
And the more your self-esteem grows. Because when you're starting out in life, maybe you won't see yourself as somebody who's important. But once you realize your self-worth and you grow in like your value system of how you value yourself, your self-esteem rises and you avoid certain things because it's not worth it anymore.
Okay. Okay, so I want to get the next question to senior man. So senior man, talking of growth, because you're the one who
Yeah.
talked about growth, right? How have you, or in what way have you grown your self-esteem, or in what way have you grown yourself?
Actually, when you talk about growth, first of all, you have to think about your mentality.
Wow.
Where you have to
Wow.
expand your mentality.
Wow.
You get
Nice.
so mentality. It comes from different aspects. Comes by from reading your environment.
Okay.
The people you deal with. So the more you expand, the more how you coordinate yourself. That's how people perceive you. So basically, for me, I feel like my top priority of growth is my mentality. I try
Mentality, how you think.
as much as possible that every blessed day I intake something. I have to feed myself with something out there. I have to learn one particular thing that will
Yeah.
improve my mentality.
Yeah.
So in that way, my growth will be will be out there.
Can I just add what he said?
Yeah.
Like in the sense of growth or self-esteem, there was a time in my life where when I hear people saying, oh, Julius this, Julius that, I would try to respond. I'll try to like defend myself. But after I feel like I've grown in my own life, even though I hear like people are saying one or two things, I don't take the time to involve myself.
It comes with stages.
Yeah, I
It
don't
comes with
take myself
stages,
to
yeah.
like involve myself to say, oh, let me defend myself or let me do this because now I'm already past that stage of caring of people's opinion on myself. So I feel like that's the growth which I've experienced. Before I would want to always partake in every single argument which involves myself, but now it's like it's what it is.
So our cinema was talking about stage. What level, what stage can you get to you to say, okay, in this way, this is how I see myself, or this is not how I see myself? What level do you think someone can get to? Because you can just talk about, oh, you can get to a certain level, get to a certain stage. What level? How can you define that level? How can you say, okay, I've gotten to this level, I cannot see myself this way, or I can picture myself this way?
Yeah, basically the levels, I can't really pinpoint the levels, but where you as an individual, where you get to know that you have upgraded or you are ascending from some certain levels, whereby you get to a point where you look back, or you kind of, if you are someone that have a to-do list where you put down all
Yes.
your track records.
Yeah,
When you
having
look back and say,
schedules
"Oh,
and
at one time
putting time to things."
I'm doing this, just like Minister said. At one time, if I get into arguments too much, but now you looking back, if someone said something about me, I
Just
really,
let it go.
man. So that's where you get to, okay, now I'm upgrading.
Yeah.
So I can't really say level. There might be, but for me specifically, I can't really pinpoint levels. But me knowing that I'm growing is that when I look back to the things I've once been committed to, that are not appropriate.
Now it's not.
But for now, I'm not attached to it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't interest me anymore.
Yeah.
That's where I know that, okay, really,
I'm really growing.
yeah, I'm really
Yeah,
growing.
true. I can boldly relate to that level thing. That's why I wanted us to talk about it a little bit, because when it comes to level and stages in life, I can really relate, because there are some things that can like someone come to me about. I don't take it too personal. There are some words that can be said. I don't take it like today now. If someone is talking about me or talking bad about me, if it was before, I could go confront that person to say, bro, why are you talking about me? But now, since I've seen myself to say, okay, I'm bigger than this picture, I don't intend, or I'm bigger than this stage or this level, I don't intend to see myself go back to it to say, bro,
Yeah.
why? No, I just let it go, because I know that, okay, I don't pass this level. Yeah, I think it really plays a very good role when it comes to self-esteem, you know. And do you think we should when it comes to self-esteem, right? Do you think we should adore ourselves or and appreciate ourselves and appreciate who we are? Do you think it's important?
Definitely. I
Yeah.
think that's so for me. I think that's the primary for me. That's the primary thing. But it's just like how you see yourself is how people
People
will
see
portray
you.
you.
Yeah.
So I think that's adornment or whatever
Giving
idolizing.
self-adoration.
Whatever what you have to do. You see yourself like you are the best. You are top priority.
Yeah.
Anything you have just to adore yourself that in as much as you know what you are doing.
But wait, you say you are the top priority. Don't you think some people will see you to say, oh, this guy is very selfish?
No, actually, some people will see you like that,
Yeah.
But if we are, if we are connected or we move by the same frequency, you understand what I mean? I won't see you like that. I'm growing, you are growing. Whereby our mentality are being sharpened.
Okay.
Like there's a way you portray yourself. I feel like this man is improving by knowledge and wisdom.
Yes.
That's not you being selfish. Being selfish is something else. But there's a way
I
someone.
think it's still the same thing.
No, I don't think
it's
it
not
has to
same.
be. I don't think it has to be a situation where it's a competition. Like because
Yeah.
he is having his self growth,
Yeah.
doesn't mean I have to compete with him.
True.
He can have his self growth.
And
I
I-
can have my self growth.
Yeah.
You can have your self growth.
So that means
And all of us were all growing.
we are all selfish,
But
low-key.
it doesn't mean we're competing against each other.
Yeah.
So everybody has to look out for themselves at some point.
Yeah, true.
Everybody has to put a certain respect, a
I
certain
like that one.
poise on the name to say, I'm Julius, this is what I stand for.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I'm saying, okay, skinny doesn't stand for this or
Yeah.
senior man doesn't stand for this. It's just my own personal journey and my own personal growth.
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily mean it's a competition to say who's growing more or not.
You know, sometimes when you get into maybe I would say more of an argument or a conversation with someone, the way the person talks, you will be triggered to have a conversation with that person again.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm heading to. Maybe, for instance, we have an argument today, and I feel to me, I'm a person that we have to be learnable, or
Yeah,
teachable.
teachable, being
You
teachable.
understand? So
Yeah.
if we have a sort of argument or a conversation, I might slip over it and say, the way you talk, I really want to get to know. I feel like there's a fire in you.
You know, can I say something? I was telling one person that, you know, me and Skinny, we fight a lot.
Yeah.
We argue. And the person was surprised, like, Julius, you and Skinny, you argue? Yeah, of course. We argue. And
I
when
think
argue,
we argue more. We argue more than I don't know, more than even you argue with one mama self.
and when we argue, it's like hot. And to be like, an intense argument. But then it doesn't mean we're disrespecting each other or somebody's thinking this and that, you know?
Yeah.
You argue, you bring your point across, and that's like you have your own way of how you value yourself.
Yeah.
I have my own of how I value yourself.
Yeah.
Now let's put our ideas together
Yeah,
and
let's-
find one breaking point.
True.
Definitely,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's very important, you know. But and also I kind of disagree with you guys low key to say being selfish is not good. For me, being selfish is good. Let me just give you
Not
my
always,
point.
not always.
I think in all things, you know, when I talk about being selfish, it's just not in a way that you just forget about your surrounding, you know, or forget about the people around you. It's a way of self-growth. We understand that at some point, like we all know at some point in your life, you don't want anybody around you. There are some pursuit you are on, or there are some chase you are on. My guy, honestly, you don't need anybody around you.
It all comes down to stages. You get these are 7. There's a stage you get to when you experience or when you get to meet some certain kind of people.
But do you think even for me, for me, even I meet people that are in the place I want to be. Even though we have the same goal. My guy, sometimes I want to be selfish. See where my selfishness come from. There are some things now I will see along that journey, right? I want to apply it for myself to see if it's going to work out for me first before I introduce to another person. It is selfish. It's being selfish because there are some people out there that can share the idea quickly.
If I'm to say, you're being practical.
I feel like say this. The senior man just want to use Oyibo English.
No, if you say selfishness,
but it's being selfish.
Looking out for yourself.
But at some point.
But that is looking out for yourself also.
I said at all times, it's not at a certain point. It's good like you apply your selfishness to yourself.
Yeah,
that's what I said. Not all times. So from what you just said now, you learning something.
Yeah.
Then you want to maybe first of all try to see if it will work out.
Yeah, if it's going to work out also.
To me, that's not selfishness. That you are just experimenting or you are just being practical. Selfishness is like, okay, when you finish that, you learn that thing or experimenting.
Yeah.
This thing works out.
And then you do not.
Let me use it for myself.
But do you think it's everything? Do you think it's everything that work out for you want to share to everybody?
Not everything. No,
you see?
No.
Yeah. So I think selfishness is very important, but it has to be in a good way.
You don't sell all your formulas.
Yeah.
Because everybody has everything. Then
that's selfishness.
What makes you special?
Yeah.
Because I think that selfishness is very important, even when it comes to self-esteem, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to even growing yourself, it's very important because you are a special person, right? You have to ask yourself, why are you special? What are you doing different that this other man is not doing? So at some point, you need to hold back some things. That's why there's this. I come across this in the internet. I say that you cannot give someone more that they deserve. The moment you start giving them more that they deserve, then they feel like you need to share everything to them. You see? So that means, what is that trying to let us know? It's trying to let us know that there are some things you need to be selfish about. You need to keep them to yourself. Like, you cannot spill that tea. That tea, you need to find big cover.
For me, I see that as payment to yourself, because at the point I'll see that like you work. Okay, let me put it this way. You work harder than people to get that solution. So if they ought to even get that solution, it has to come through you.
Right.
You get, so there have to be a price. I agree with that. In that aspect, you have to be selfish. Yeah.
Okay. This was supposed to be a recap, but I'm surprised that I feel like today we are so hot, We are so very hot.
The conversations are given, so we have to
Right? So, okay, now, I want us to just, before we dive in, because today we're going to talk about high self-esteem, but I think the last time there are some points we could not give due to time. So, but today I'm honestly going to try to work with time today. So I want us to just a recap, recap on low self-esteem. How does low self-esteem affect you as a person? I just want us to just place a recap, and then we move on to the next chapter. How do you think personally someone with low self-esteem, how does it affect them, even mentally, physically, spiritually, in any way of their life? How do you think it affects them? And what way you think they can grow? Because now we're moving to high self-esteem, right? Which is the most important thing, or which we all, or everybody pray to get, or everybody wish to get. So before we move in, I just want us to just place like a form of motivation, and then just out for them to just step out from that boundary and move to the next one. So you go first.
So me, I like when it comes to like problem solving, first of all, I deal with as a businessman. I go with I go with the geography. So I would say your surroundings, your environment, because most times this low self-esteem are being injected to people with it comes with like maybe physical abuse or
Yeah.
mostly physical abuse
Yeah.
or torture.
You just bring them down.
So one of for you to like deviate from such for such acts, the only advice I will give is leaving that environment.
So that's where the growth comes in, right?
Yeah, you have to leave the
Yeah, grow
like
yourself.
for those that comes with physical abuse, all those form of bully, you have to like leave that environment because it's very difficult. One man conquering a whole lot of people.
Yeah, true.
If we are to speak fact, it's very difficult. So
Yeah.
leaving that environment, going somewhere else and try to learn, try to adapt, it will be beneficial to that person.
Do you believe in extrovert and introvert kind of thing?
The extrovert and introvert.
Yeah, introvert and extrovert.
Yeah, I do.
Do you believe in
Yeah,
those
I
things,
do,
right?
yeah.
So how can someone who is an introvert how can he step out from that? Because if you say meet people, right?
Yeah.
Introvert, they cannot meet people. They always be at home.
Can I just, before you answer, let me answer this question. I feel like for me, I believe in exposure therapy. You know?
You can be at home and be exposed, right?
No, exposure therapy is like the thing which you fear the most. Face it, head first. Like for me, if I tell you I don't like public speaking, I don't like speaking in front of people. Like, even
Yeah.
yeah, you see, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't like speaking in front of people and stuff.
Yeah.
But because I put myself in situations where I have to speak in front of people.
And the people around you also.
Yeah, the people around me are also speaking in front of people.
You get
So that thing teaches me that this is not as freaky as I thought it was. You know? So I put myself
out
in a
of all the
situation.
whole word, why you use the word freaky?
It's your mind.
Out of all the whole words,
It's your mind.
this man. Imagine out of all
minister, don't carry us.
out of all the whole words. Imagine my people. Out of all the whole word, he used freaky.
No, it's English.
Okay, right on. I give you the floor. Take the floor, my minister. Take the floor.
So at some point, you have to realize that
Yeah.
there's a quote which I saw at some point when I was reading something, and it said, "Your success is where you are most scared to enter." You know,
True.
the door you're most afraid to enter is where you find good things. You know,
True.
So like even like with public speaking for myself, it's like it's not that difficult, but it's just that something which I was uncomfortable doing. You know.
Yeah.
But then the more I do it, the more I realize like, okay, so what was I fearing? What was I doing?
Yeah.
Why am I on this podcast? Why can't I speak in front of people or in front of cameras? Why am I shy? You know? So I feel like the more you introduce yourself to things you're afraid of, that's when you are able to like
You can discover. You can even
you discover a new part of
discover
yourself.
your another part of yourself.
if
that
you
can
told
do
me in
this.
2010 that Julia should be on a podcast, I'd be like, Linus, you know, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
But now I hear, you know, because step by step we carry
Yeah.
carry ourselves and bring ourselves into an environment. We
Even
don't
for me,
expect.
even though the introverts they still have they still have their community where they communicate.
Yeah,
Just
like
you
maybe
said,
social media,
they might not
right?
be going out, but through research platforms online,
They have one area where they can
those
educate
stuff.
you.
So for me, I would say okay. Let's say he's introvert, but at least he or she belongs to a platform where they
Can meet people.
information when they meet
Yeah.
people. So by that source, they get to learn. Get to learn, yeah.
Get to do one or two things.
You know, even for me, you know, it's the same way for me because when I was in secondary school, even primary school, I'm this kind of person that will not want to even be in front of the classroom to speak to people, to be in the classroom. Because I know, you know, the funny thing is that I knew I had that in me, but I would not do it on purpose. So would you call that, because there's a lot of people out there, right? they know they have that in them. Before I really go into my story, let me go into my story first. I knew I could. Let me use the classroom thing. I knew if you call me in this class to say, come out and solve this problem, I know the answer, but I would not want to go out there to put the answer on the board. I would rather tell my next man to say, Alpha,
This is the answer.
this is the answer. So that man now will be so happy.
Yeah.
Because now he has received, maybe that man doesn't know that information. So now that man will be so happy to go in front to display to the people that I'm here. But me now that knows the answer, I'm just there, low-key.
Wait. As a psychologist,
Like I don't enter psychology, so
no. As a psychologist, there are two things involved in that
Right.
example of given. One, the guy who told the answer has a desire to prove himself. He wants to prove to the class that
I know something. Yeah.
But for you, even though you know it,
Try
you
to-
don't have the energy to say.
Try to play
prove
dumb, you know?
yourself. You're already comfortable in your own skin to say, I don't have
I'm
anything.
okay.
to
I have
No, I'm
nothing.
disagreeing with
I have
that first one. He
nothing.
said the guy want to prove him.
The guy who he told.
No, because he picks the guy.
No. If that guy
Yeah,
did
but-
want, that guy would say,
Yeah, that guy would say no.
I'll sit with the answer.
But why is it that man now
He's so
is so
excited
excited?
now.
Because I've been in that situation so many times back then.
I won't see that as proving himself. If we're in the same class, right?
Right.
You know the answer.
Yeah, and I pass it over
But
to
you don't
you,
want to go out there, and you tell me.
but you don't know it.
I don't know it.
Yeah.
And you tell me.
Yeah.
I go out there. That doesn't mean I have to put myself. That's
No, it shows that.
Let me give you a
I don't know it.
let me reverse the role.
Okay.
This man knows the answer, right?
Uh-huh.
So let's be in a situation where he didn't know the answer. Do you think if that other man told him the answer, he would stand up and go tell the answer?
No, I think personally that's just who I am, in the sense of I'm this kind of person. See where I'm coming from. I'm this kind of person that want to say, even though you tell me, I don't want to be in front.
Because you don't want to prove yourself.
Yeah, like I don't want. I feel like true, because I feel like I want to prove myself.
At that
I feel
point,
that way.
that man hasn't undergone the training.
This is
He
what
ought to undergone. Okay, but now, okay, that was back then, right?
Yeah, long
now
time ago.
he has something to say. He doesn't have to tell somebody. He has to go. there and speak for
I
himself.
will say it now.
okay, but even now, if another person tells you the answer, will you be so excited to say, okay, since you told me the answer, let me go in front?
I would not. For me personally, the way Skinny is, for me, if someone tell me the answer, I will not go in front.
You'll be like,
Okay,
okay, yeah.
is it
now I
because
know.
someone told you? That's the reason. Because
Okay,
someone told you.
for me-
because if you know the answer by yourself, you will go there, right?
Yeah.
I would think, okay, I like that question. I would think, I will have this thing because of that. Number one, I have no interest. Or no, okay, let's say number one, I don't know the answer. That would be first thing first, because it's not like I know the answer and then I'm keeping it to myself. I don't know the answer. So because it's coming from that man, it will sweet me.
You don't know. Like the after word of that thing.
It's even
you
the
guys know
truth.
that the man will say, okay, this man, okay, I told him.
It's,
kind of stuff.
it's even the truth to say, I don't know if it's correct
Or not.
Because I've seen so many situations back there in school
Where you go,
whereby don't tell this man right there will just run like Lassa. Hey, man go say he's very confident. Go there, he fool
Go
himself.
and sit down.
When I say no, it's wrong. But maybe say the answer is too wrong.
No, it's
You can't sit down like this. You can't look you. Afa. How you doing?
So for me, at that point, I'll feel like, from what he explained, like he hasn't built himself. That
His
mentality
self-confidence.
you get. So come back to now we are here now. Someone tells him something to go. No, for if someone tells him, okay, Skinny, go and talk this thing down. As a very reasonable person, you have to calculate yourself. Is this thing right?
For me, I don't go.
Is this
For me,
understand?
I don't care. I don't care if it's right or wrong. For me, number one, just because that answer is not coming from me, for me, just because I don't know that answer, I will not put myself there. Number two, sorry, bro. Number two, just because it's coming from this man, even though this man is the most smartest person, the reason I will not just put myself out there to say, okay. Instead, I would rather ask this man, okay, how did you get
Come
this
across
thing?
this answer.
So unless the way he teach me or the way he puts me through, if I say like, okay, it makes sense, that's the only way. If there's opportunity for me to
You
go
can go.
there, with because now I've already grabbed the knowledge
Because I
and the
wanted to ask you something
understanding.
now,
The
like
concept.
if we are like doing like more like a debate or a quiz where we share by ourselves by group now.
Yes.
Maybe you are being speakable.
Yeah, like
right?
A grade, B, A thing, yeah.
So this man now get the answers. Hey, Skinny, okay, this is the answer.
Yes.
Definitely you will go because maybe you're like this man. Maybe this man is like shy of more this kind of thing.
For me, if I'm working with group, yeah, personally, if I'm working with a group, I'm this kind of person. I'm very laid back. I'm more laid back than being in the front line, unless they make me say, Skinny, you are the leader of this position or you are the leader of this situation. That's when I'll be in front, right? So if you put me in that box to say, this man is my group member now, for example, to say, Skinny, this is the answer, instead of me to just rush, honestly, instead of me to just rush and answer, instead, there's two things that can work for me now. Is the level of trust or belief I have in this man.
Yeah.
If you have big level for this man or higher level for this man, it can give me more confidence for me to say, without asking question, let me just say the answer. Now I don't know if it's what? Wrong or correct.
Yeah.
So it's a level of confidence from this man. I'm having from this man. You see? But there are so many cases whereby I will ask this man because I know that I am supposed to know that thing also. You see where my point is coming from? Is that I am supposed to know this thing also. But now I don't know. So this is the point where I will ask this man, Alpha, how did you come about it? So if this man give me a short explanation like, oh, if you put this, if you add this, if you add this, you add, you get
it makes
this.
sense.
And it makes sense to me. I will get more confident to say,
get you.
yes,
I get
go
you.
there. But everything, by the end of the day, it depends on the level of trust and confidence and belief I have for this man to say, okay, if this man just tell me anything, I put a man there, or am I this? Because me, I'm this person that I'm very laid back. So instead, I want to ask you, Alpha, how do we come about this thing? When I know that it's something we need to put out there, because we have to be sensitive with what we put out there, you know?
Yeah, I get you. Even for me, to date, I don't like. Most people always figure that I don't like putting myself in the front line. Like, even though I'm 100% sure that.
But do you think you have a low self-esteem in that area?
No.
Or do you think
I
it's
won't
just
say it's just. I won't
just a
say
personal
no.
thing?
No, I don't. It's just personal something. I'm not that. My personality. I'm not that type that. Like the last time we discussed about someone always taking the lead when, like, if we are to share activities now, it's not that person is bragging or being proud. There are some people that they are naturally born to be like, if we share this now, okay, I will take the lead.
You know, when you're finished with that point, I want to add to your point.
You get? So me, I've figured out myself. I might we might be given an assignment. I might be the first person that get the solution of that thing, or I might have solution for that thing. I don't always like. I rather pass it on. Go.
Alpha, deliver.
Go. Like even to date. So for me, I just like it's not a bad thing. It's just how.
Or just who you are or something.
Just who I am and how you present yourself. So that was it. So, Minister.
It's the same as me. There's one department man this man share. You know? And for me, the way I see that department is, I would rather this man brings all the information and puts it together in one place for me. But once it comes the time for me to execute that thing, I don't want to have. Even there are people who ask me, say, oh, why don't you teach somebody to do this and that, you know?
Yeah.
But then for me, I'd rather be in a position where if I'm doing it, let me just do it. Because I don't like dealing with too many people, because I trust myself to a point where I know if I'm in this position, I'll execute
You
it
execute it
perfectly
nicely.
and everything goes smoothly.
Yeah.
But then once you start introducing other people, it becomes more complicated for me, you know.
Yeah.
So it also becomes a point for me whereby it's like I would rather do something alone or do it personally than involve other people.
Okay. All right. So, do you think that having someone in your team is a little bit of, it puts you in a very in a pressure stand?
Having someone in the team.
Yes, having someone in your team, like you need to teach that person from grassroots. Do you think it puts you in a stance of
I feel like
pressure?
I would rather have somebody in my team who I trust, somebody who I know.
But you don't know this person, huh?
No, like you say like you teaching someone.
Okay, you don't know because
department you are in now.
Yes.
That's your duty. That's your assignment.
Yes.
You like
from
putting it
from
with someone like,
fresh, because you
come
don't
and
know
learn
the
this from
person.
me.
You don't know the
Yeah.
person. So now, this person now, they put this person in this standpoint to say, okay, come on, minister,
Julius.
know this thing, learn from him. So will you say that he put you in a point of pressure or what? What? Tell us which level he put you at that point.
No.
Because you cannot tell me you cannot work with someone new.
No,
It doesn't make
personally
sense.
For me, I don't feel like I'm a teacher. I don't feel like I'm somebody who can teach someone. Because for me, there's a way which things make sense in my head that I cannot explain them
To the person,
verbally, you know?
right?
Okay, so what would you rather do?
So you mean ideas or what? Tell us. I want us to
It's
know.
not ideas or anything. It's,
The idea is too big for that man to handle.
no, it's not that I think it's too big for them. It's just like there's a way I understand things. Like let's say let's say we're doing something, right?
Yeah.
And you think of it as A plus B.
Yeah.
Me, I'll think of it as
A, C,
A minus D equals B plus D.
C, go enter
You feel right?
I feel.
So the way I'll think about it is complicated, and for me to explain to you in simple terms, you'd feel like I'm wasting your time.
No, not
Like,
not.
No, there's some people where you're explaining to them, and you can see on their face that they're already confused.
That one means that they don't want to be taught.
No.
Apart from that, it's a complicated teacher.
Minister is talking our mind here now. What he asks you is that
Answer the question.
why can you not teach someone, even though your answer is A plus B minus C, you can still
Teach that person that
teach
A plus
someone.
A minus
Okay.
C to the
That's some people naturally they don't know how to teach people.
Okay, yes, this is
They
what
will rather direct you. Okay, meet
Okay.
this man.
this is what I'm saying. For me, naturally, I don't know how to teach someone. Have you ever been in a mathematics class where you have one teacher? That teacher will explain.
Nothing
will
enter
enter
the
your
brain.
head.
So you're that
then
teacher.
one guy will enter the room and just give you and you understand.
That's what you say.
For me, I'm the other guy. Whereby, if I'm teaching somebody, I will explain it in a way whereby I feel like they don't understand.
Like they
And
have
for
to
me-
go think on their own, right?
And for me, and I see facial expression, so I can see from your face what I'm saying. You don't understand.
So you won't go by
I already
you won't go by
decided-
facial expression. If you go by
Oh,
facial expression, at least
minister.
if you go by that facial expression, that means if you are a doctor, if you see some of your patients, their face, you would ignore them that they don't want to be treated or they don't want to be
This is
cured.
why
they're
I'm
not
not a
serious.
doctor. This is why I chose a career which is that involve people. It's just
But do you think your career involve people? Because in the engineering,
When you are engineering, you are constructing, you are drawing plans.
I would rather deal with cement and steel and whatever.
But still yet, in that your field, people will still get upset. Their expression will still get saddened.
They'll deal with a project manager, not with me.
see, they
People will
can
still deal with you, right?
Later.
see.
No, not minister.
Minister, don't try to chop our brain. Let me tell you something. You're studying civil engineering, right? You are a civil engineer. As a civil engineer, you work with people.
Even though you're in the office,
No matter the matter,
your clients will still come to you.
work
Some of them will
with
still get pissed
people.
off.
You know why I say so? You're a civil engineer. You want to work with cement buildings, architecture, right? You are not. I can boldly say that you're not into mostly drawing. I can boldly say you are more like a practical guy. You know what? Let's put this together. Let's do this together. Let's put it together. Let's get this. That is your job. That is what you. That's the part I can tell that you shows. At least I know my guy. That's the part I can tell that you shows. You're not this guy that want to draw and then give it to this other party to say, okay, you now go and execute. You are this person, draw for me, and then I execute. You are this person. You give that person the idea. That's what you do. That's what you want to do. So Let me tell you how you work with people. You work with bricklayers. You work with laborers. If you don't know how to teach them, because you might have a very broad design in your head. So if these persons cannot accomplish that design, it will be a problem for you and that person.
You have to know to be
Because now you are the boss in that situation. So if you are not able to broaden that person to say, guys, this is what we are working with, explain to them nicely, even though your idea is A plus Z plus Y plus D and F. If you cannot put them together for that man to understand, that means that project is gone.
Even without the bricklayer self, those ones say you can still be instructing your contractors. I know you employ contractors. You might be the general boss in your office.
Yeah, you might own the company, and then you give contractors to go and get it done.
You take contractors. No, it's like this.
So basically, you have to work with people. So there's no way. I think now we are trying to educate you instead of educating the people. But there's somebody like you out there. See, there's somebody like you out there. So we educate that person also. See, there's no way, one way or the other, you have to let people understand whatever thing they come to learn. Okay? No matter the matter, even though you are this complicated, some other people's brain can carry complicated solutions or complicated solvings. So you have to be able to relax, to say, I know you are that this person that, okay, you have broad ideas, because one idea can just come now, pap, next minute another one already come. So, but the most important thing is that whatever idea that comes in your head, try to make other people understand, people that are with you. You might not have anybody under you yet, but time coming, you will have people around you. Time coming. So we are. I like the fact that we are very diverse in this conversation, and it's so wonderful. So now let us move to high self-esteem. High self-esteem. Now we're going to, like I said earlier, we're going to give a motivation to other people who are low self-esteem, who cannot be out there, who cannot be the front liners, or let me not use that word, front liners. Someone that cannot, be there. Someone that is not confident. So now, what we're going to do quickly is that, can we just give them some beats or some advice on how to achieve the high self-esteem, or for us to advise them to leave that level of having a low self-esteem? Because sometimes being a low or having a low self-esteem, sometimes it's a how to say, it's a pain to some persons, because they might love what we do now, they want to do it, but they might not know where to start from or how to do it.
It's so bad. It's intimidating.
Yeah. And then that's how you see them. They'll be like, you can do it so well. I want to do it, but no way. So how can you encourage them? Or what are some steps that you went through? What did we? Because I'm going to say something also. How did we get through it for us to move? You guys never let me finish my story, but we won't leave out. So how can we give them the next level? Because now we're so working with time today.
So I'll give just a simple explanation or simple advice. I would say every little thing you do, what I mean little thing, every good thing you do, mark it, just calculate how you've done it, master it, and be proud of that. Every little thing of that, you have to adore yourself for that thing. Yeah, because I don't see the fact that if you don't adore yourself, who else will? So every little thing you do, just make sure that you are very good at it. Then from there, you search and get to know what's next, the next step you have to take. So I would say every little thing you do, you have to be proud of that, master it, and make sure that you are self-content with that thing. Then seek for more, because there's more out there. So for me, that's it.
So Minister.
For me, if you follow the things I say on this podcast, excuse me, if you follow the things I say on this podcast, there's one thing which I always keep mentioning. You have to understand yourself. The most important thing I see is you have to know the kind of person you are and the values you hold, and you have to know your highs and your lows. You cannot improve yourself if you do not know what you have to improve, you know. So once you know what you have to improve, you can know the areas in which you have to work on. So once you understand the areas you need to work on, you can make a strategy to say, okay, how will I improve myself in this area? Like I was giving an example for me where I said I was not good at public speaking. So I asked myself a question to say, how do I improve
Yeah.
my area of public speaking?
How can I get this done?
Okay, let me join a podcast. Let me speak in front of people. Let me do group presentation. Let me be the leader of a group presentation. And in those mistakes you make and those errors you make, you're able to gauge yourself to say, okay, so this is the area where I need more work, or okay, this is how I can improve myself.
Yeah.
You know? So in those small areas where you make errors, where you make mistakes and stuff, you're able to like educate yourself and able to improve your own self. I feel like self growth is the most important thing. So you have to learn to teach yourself and grow yourself in an area where it's like what you say with advice always. I think all of us agree. You cannot advise somebody who doesn't want to be advised.
That's just the fact.
Right? If someone doesn't want to be advised, you can't advise them.
Yeah.
You cannot teach someone who doesn't want to be taught. So once you understand yourself and once you say, okay, this is the area where I'm failing in, and you understand that area, you're able to teach yourself or learn from other people around you. So I feel like my advice would be to understand yourself and know which areas you need work in.
That's powerful. So for me, one thing I would touch on is just forget about the past. You know, you've done mistakes, you've had bad parenting issues, you've had people bring you down, you've had situations which you know that you cannot leave behind. Huh? This is the time you have this fear to start, fear to forget about those things. Oh, if I forget about these things, what's gonna, no, just drop it all. The things you should be thinking on now is the way forward. You know, don't let those pains, don't let those hard situations, don't let those parental situations just bring you down. Just forget about it. And my other advice would be focus on the positive attributes. That thing you thought, you think that, oh, how did I do this? You know that it made you happy. Those are the things you should focus on. The more you keep focusing on those positive things, the more your esteem keep growing. It might not grow in one day, but like we all said, it's growth. It's a process. If you buy a seed now, it doesn't mean that when you buy that seed from the shop, it starts growing from there.
You have to plant it, it has to germinate, you have to water, all those process.
Yes. The process, what is the growth? Because when you don't apply those things, then that means there's no growth.
Yeah.
So this is what it comes with: a little bit of learning, a little bit of, associating with the good people, associating with the right people, talk to people about your problems. No, it's not, like I said, I said this earlier before, I said it's not everybody you can talk to.
Yeah.
There should be some key persons, that, okay, I can tell them this situation, I can tell them that situation, And remove yourself, when I say focus on the positive attributes, remove yourself from negativity, remove yourself from negative people. Because the more you have these people around you, the more you remain in the same way. the more you be this person who is not outspoken, you might have a lot to share, but because of that negative vibe, the cause of to say, oh no, people they do try to do this, they don't succeed. Nope. If you know who you are, and that's why, you guys' definition was so powerful when you talk about, the self-esteem, how you see yourself, how you idolize yourself, what changes do you see in you. So this is all we're talking about. What is something that has added to your life? That is what you'll be looking forward to always. And that's how you can leave or forget that thing. And that's how you can grow yourself. All right. With all advice and all thing, I want us now to move on to another sector, right? Now, we're in the month of self-esteem. I want us to come back again, okay? Have you ever been compared? I'm talking to us now, and I'm talking to these other people. Please drop your comments. Please ensure to like, drop your comment, share to your friends so they can drop their comment also. So, have you ever been compared, and how did it affect your self-esteem?
Is that with me?
I'm putting it on the table. This is a very sensitive matter. Mm-hmm. This is a very sensitive matter. Have you ever been compared, and how did it affect your self-esteem?
Yeah, for me, I would say I have been. The more I can relate. I've been compared once, but I took that. I didn't take that bad because at
So
that point
it did not affect your self-esteem.
it didn't affect because
Being compared to say, oh,
at that point, no, I'll tell you the comparison. At that point, I was going out of line. Yeah, when I was in secondary school, I was like really doing some kind of stuff that wasn't deserved. So on getting home, my parents would like say, the comparison was that for me. I would say at that point I deserved it because I was messing around. So it was like, okay, you messing around. Can't you see this the way they are behaving? So why would it be misbehaving this kind of way? So that was, I think, to me, that's the only comparison I've been like that I've been related to. So for me, I didn't take that as a bad comparison, and for whatever reason, it didn't affect me. That's the only comparison I've been compared to.
so you mean you have never been in a situation whereby they compared you and then you try to question yourself that, you try to look in the mirror, because we talk about our definition of self-esteem is how we see ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So you've never been compared to say then you see yourself the other way around. You never.
No, being compared by someone, I haven't been compared.
And then you see yourself
within
no,
myself. No,
no,
no, no.
I'm really supposed to be like this,
Like being compared by, you said compared, being compared by someone.
Yeah.
I haven't. I just talked about how the only way I've been compared. But we humans, right?
So no mama has ever compared you to say, hey, see this guy? This guy they do this thing, no.
No.
Why?
I don't think I can never find myself
That
in
kind of
such situation. You
situation,
get?
right?
So I won't call it comparison, right? I'll call that as a motivation. The only thing I've looked up to, like, we humans, we grow, and sometimes we get to push ourselves like to the limit that by this certain time I ought to like do this thing. I ought to like I'm supposed to be at this stage. So at the time when you don't get to that stage, you're like, am I doing something wrong? My peers or my circle, my clique, or people will go and okay, this person is someplace. Like for me, to me that is like self Okay, let me get self-comparison at the time. I did that. So
Okay, self-comparison.
yeah.
It never affected you.
No, it actually it never affected me. I want to be honest, it never affected me. Just like that drive, it pushed the drive.
Or it is like it instead it just
Like
motivates
maybe
you.
maybe
It motivated you
thank you, yes,
instead of
that's just the fact.
affecting you. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So, Minister,
For me, the only comparison which has ever happened, and
let me take my back my cap back for Minister.
for me, the only comparison which has ever happened to me is always about, this person is doing, like, especially in family wise.
Yeah.
Like, okay, your cousin is doing this, why aren't you doing this?
Yeah.
Because for me, the way I live my life is, I don't look at what other people are doing. I believe in myself. And
So
I
that
know-
means you guys naturally like when I get high self-esteem or this man. Waiting.
I don't know if that's the case, but like,
It's the case now.
for me, since childhood, I've lived a life whereby my parents are always comparing me to other. Oh, your cousin is doing this. Why aren't
Yeah,
you doing
why
this?
can't he do
Your
this?
cousin is doing this. Why aren't you doing this?
Yeah.
But then when I look back today, there's nobody who I was compared to back in the day who's doing better than me right now. So for me, I've always been one person who I believed in myself and I knew what I was doing. Even though I'm like doing one or two things which might seem funny to people, but in my head I know that, okay,
It's
even
just
though
for
I'm
now.
doing this,
I'm just playing.
I'm just enjoying myself, but like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I know.
You know, be Lassa man.
Yeah, I know the path I'm following. Like for me,
You know, be Mugu.
Yeah, I've always been on a path where I already know my end goal. You know?
Yeah.
So even though I'm compared to people and stuff like that, and if there's one thing I hate, it's comparison. I really, really hate comparison because it annoys me. Because
How has it affect you? How has it affect your self-esteem?
it hasn't necessarily affected me, but it just makes me upset that people compare me to other people because I feel like they don't believe in me. Because why are you comparing me to this next person if you believe in me? So for you to compare me to this next person means you have no faith in me and you think as though this man does not know what he's doing.
Yeah.
This man should follow the same path as this other person is
Yeah.
doing. So that maybe that's the only way which it affects me, but it makes me mad to say, why is this person wanting me to live my life like this other person? But I thank God until this day, there's nobody who I've ever been compared to say, Julius, live your life. I was telling you the other day.
Yeah, you're telling me.
There's nobody who they've ever compared me and said, Julius, live your life like this person who is in a good place right now. All those people who people are saying, oh, Julius, follow this guy, follow his life. They're all now like in a difficult place for what I don't know the reasons, but for whatever reasons. And for me, I feel like I'm in a decent place. I'm not where I want to
Yeah,
be.
you know where you want
but
to be.
I'm not bad. I'm progressing, you know. My life is still progressing.
I
slowly.
feel you, my G.
Yeah.
I feel you. You know, for me, I would say that I've always been this positive person. So when it comes to comparison, I don't think I've even though someone compared me to say, oh, look at the guy, this guy is doing this, this guy is doing that, or this guy has rich here, this guy has do this. What about you? When are you going to be in that position? You know, I like my brother here. He said something. He said he took it as a motivation. Took it as a motivation. I think that's the same thing that applies to me. I never took it as, oh, this guy is really doing well. Oh, hey, I need to push myself. Oh, it's fine to push yourself, but you should push yourself with yourself. Don't push yourself with someone else's self. Because number one thing, I'm not trying to say don't have mentors, don't have this, don't have that, or don't have people you look up to, but I'm just trying to say when it comes to comparison, when it comes to people saying, why are you not in this position?
Why aren't you like this person?
Or why aren't you like this
That
person?
thing, it destroys.
I hate that one. Why aren't you like this
It
person?
Or why you know I know one thing.
Complicates.
You know one thing. I think this is one thing we fail to talk about in relationship. The last time we talked about relationship, it's one thing we fail to talk about, comparison. Because we did not talk about this in the sense of, I don't know, I think maybe it was, I don't know, because it's something that goes on in relationship.
No, it really does.
Let's see let's say one mama now,
My ex was doing this.
this guy, you are looking at me now, you are watching me, or you, this mama, you are watching me. If you are this person that will tell your boyfriend to say, hey, hey, see this my friend's boyfriend, you know, see what he do. Why aren't you like this, safe? Why are you not even doing this? You know, see this guy. Don't you see this person?
Man,
You see what he's doing.
Please go be with them. Leave me alone.
I'm sorry to cut you off. This is not. This is like we're being recorded, but I'm sorry. Anybody that I'm going to date that you ever compare, no, man, that we are done.
It doesn't make sense.
For me, there's no room. There are some certain things that for me there's no room for. I might forgive you, but I'm literally done with you. I'm literally done because I don't see no reason. If you believe I would be comparing with the mom, I don't see that's
Yeah,
unhealthy.
it's for me. It's really nasty. You know, it's really nasty. So that's why it's very important. So please, if you're out there, do not compare anybody with another body. You, this girl, or you, this boy, don't say, don't you see this mama, or don't you see this guy, don't you see what is. Everybody have their way of doing things.
If you feel like your man is not doing what the next man is doing, be with the next man so you can do the same thing. Leave your man alone.
Motivate your man, or you give him ideas.
Yeah, you give him more ideas instead of trying to, or you be spontaneous in your own way to trigger that man to say, okay, let me do more for myself. You know, instead of just compare to say, see that man, see what that man is doing. Why can't you do it? Are you not a man? Nah, come on.
God forbid
Come
that
on.
can happen to me.
Come on.
That day.
Come on. So please, I'm begging you all. We are out of time right now. I'm begging you all to just try to understand. If you're married, you're in a relationship, just try to understand your partner. Try to motivate them, you know. And also, okay, quick. Let's just give a quick motivation. So, what do you guys want to say to people out there? A quick motivation
Yes,
before we go off. So, Minister, you go first.
You go first.
Okay, for me, I would really go with comparison. So please, like I said, you this girl, you this guy, please, do not compare your man to another man, and do not compare your girl to another girl. Everybody has their own timing, and you have to understand everybody is not doing the same thing. This man 1,000 step, cannot compare it with this man 1 step. This man 1 step, you cannot compare it with this man 1,000 step, or with this man 1,000,000 step. It's the same way to the girls. This girl 1,000,000 step, or the level that this girl is right now, is not the same way to this level. So please, instead try to educate them, to give them material for them to grow themselves, to boost their self-esteem. Don't try to bring them down, because comparing them can really make them have a low self-esteem. It can make them feel like, oh no, I'm doing nothing in my life. So please don't be that person that want to bring people down. Be that person that want to uplift people. Be that person that want to teach people. Be that person that want to say, okay, I'm seeing this thing that you are lacking from. Okay, do you know what? Let's work it together, you know? So please, even as a friend, forget about relationship, as a friend, if you see your friend is not being in this situation that you want him to be, or you see the potential to say, okay, this person has the potential to go higher, please try to encourage them, that instead of just bringing them down, try to do something, try to say something, try to make them understand that, okay, I'm not coming in the place of hate, or I'm not coming in the place of to say, you are doing bad. I'm coming in the place to say, bro, I want you to grow. I want you to go higher. I want you to have more confidence. I want you to have more understanding. I want to teach you something new, you know? So just try to be that, create a positive atmosphere for the next man. Yeah, for me, that's what I'm going to say.